Lightyear is the latest Pixar movie and is in theaters. That's a pretty big deal because the last Pixar movie to be released in theaters was Onward, which was right before the pandemic. Ever since then, all the other Pixar releases have gone straight to streaming, which has led to some contention among viewers, myself included. There are some of those movies I would have liked to see on the big screen, especially Turning Red most recently. That would have been really something on the big screen. However, now getting this, which is obvious because the Toy Story IP is the biggest thing for Pixar, seeing this on the big screen makes sense. And the premise of this movie has been hotly contested by some people in terms of what it actually is. Simply put, it's like us watching Spider-Man for the first time and saying, hey, I want to buy a Spider-Man toy because I just really loved that movie and I want to get an action figure that I can just play around with. Andy watched a movie in the Toy Story universe that is, and it made him want to get a toy of Buzz Lightyear, which he did in the first movie. That's exactly it. He saw this movie. So we're supposed to, I guess, see this from Andy's perspective. It's like, what made him love this character so much. And the story that follows in it of a space ranger, played in this by Chris Evans, who is trying to accomplish a mission that really is very tough to pull off. And the struggles that are coming with it, the problems that arise, and all of those things, it makes for an interesting venture. And while Lightyear won't win points for being one of the greatest Pixar movies or anything like that, it's a pretty fun experience. And if you give yourself to the concept that it's going for, it's a lot more entertaining. It does some very interesting things, particularly with visuals, that were really enthralling to behold. Like, this is a spectacular looking movie. There are some sequences that have been done in IMAX, and that's a first for an animated movie to be shot in that ratio. There are some scenes that just look so visually dazzling that they really pop off on the big screen. So if you get a chance to see it in theaters, I highly recommend checking it out. There's a lot of great characters that the film has to offer too. I think Buzz Lightyear himself, played by Evans, again, is really, really great. I think he does a really good job capturing that character. But the other cadets that are also involved in it, the other Rangers, they're all really, really entertaining as well. Some of them voiced by Keke Palmer and Taika Waititi. They all do a really good job. I would say the MVP of the characters was Socks, this little cat android thing, which is really funny and is really, really intuitive throughout the movie. The camaraderie that he builds is really great, and I can honestly just right now, the first time you see Socks in this movie, the first scene with him, this thing is going to fly off shelves. Kids are going to be all over this, and they're going to want to buy themselves plush toys of Socks, robot talking Socks figures. This is going to happen. They're going to sell so many Socks toys and merchandise. Oh, Disney. Yeah, this is how they get you, man. And well played. It's a good play at that. The action sequences are also really, really great. There's some particularly fun moments. There's one really great sequence involving a ship, which I'm not really going to go into, but that was really, really good stuff. There are definitely some visually marvelous moments that you're going to get out of it. It has a very fun score by Michael Giacchino, which really anchors it down as well. There are some things in the score which I think could have been done a little bit more, like, I don't know why, but I was expecting a subtle hint of the theme, the Buzz Lightyear theme from like the Toy Story movies to come in every now and then, the Randy Newman one, but that didn't quite factor in. Makes sense, toy, actual guy in a movie that Andy watched. I guess there's a difference. But whatever. They don't really go into a lot of things in the trailers, which I think is good because there are certain things that they do with this story that I thought were really, really cool. And I really loved that stuff, especially like I said in the first half. The second half turns into a more conventional sci-fi action movie, which is fun, but I think there are some things in that first half which are so interesting and so well handled that I would have liked that to have been the whole movie. Alas, we get a movie that's a bit of both, and while it is still a very fun product, I still think it could have been a little more original. It could have done some things that were different from other science fiction movies. There are some things that happen in it that have been done about 1,000 times in science fiction action movies at this point that you just you kind of expect how certain things are going to go after a while, and that's pretty much exactly how it goes. But overall, I still had a very good time watching Lightyear. It's not going to win any points for like the best Pixar movie ever, like I said. It's not going to probably make any top 10 lists. Maybe it will. Who knows? But I can say for certainty, if you're going to take your kid to see a movie this weekend between this, Jurassic World, you've got your hands full for a bit. So let that kid have some fun. You know, you hopefully have a really great time watching it as well. It's got some nice jokes. It's got some nice little character building moments, some inspirational moments that I think they'll latch onto, the younger ones. And I think that about does it for that. I'm going to give Lightyear a 7.5 out of 10. It's out in theaters now if you guys want to go check it out. I mean, like I said, it's a visual marvel, so, I mean, you will get some really great looking stuff, if nothing else. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to some more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.